Welcome to VVP Trading. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified of any new videos that are uploaded. So in this video, we're going to go over a website that I use to analyze crypto stocks, Forex. So basically, what website I use to analyze and make sure that whatever trade I'm getting into is a smart trade and not just trading off emotions, but trading off of basically probabilities. And a lot of people, they may know about this website, but they don't know how to use it fully because there are a lot of tools and not many people know all about it. So stay tuned and find out. All right, so apparently I'm going to do a take 3 on this video because my laptop wants to have technical difficulties, but besides that, let's just get right into it. So as I mentioned before in this video, we are going to go over just everything we need to know about TradingView, how to use it, when to use the tools, and just kind of go from there. All right, so before we start, there is a free version of TradingView. The only downside is that you are not allowed to use all of the tools, and also let's say like these indicators right here that I have. Oh shoot. So I have EMA, exponential moving average. So all of these right here, you are only able to use one, I believe. You can only have one going at a time. I do have RSI here, the relative strength index. So you are only able to use one. And also if you go on this tab right here, I do have, let me just move this. I do have different lists of, let's say, what I'm trading on Bitmart, what I'm trading on Robinhood, Webull, and just different Forex pairs and just kind of everything on here. So the great and beautiful thing about TradingView is not only can you analyze Forex, you can also analyze crypto, you can analyze stocks. So this video I will probably upload to all 3 playlists because it kind of pertains to all of them, because I use this for whether I'm getting into crypto, whether I'm getting into stock, or if I'm trading a Forex pair. So it's actually a really great tool to use, and we're going to dive right into it and make sure you know everything about this. All right, so right up here, top left corner, what we have is basically cursors. So right now you see mine is at a cross. You can move it to a dot, just basically whatever you want, whatever you're more comfortable with, whatever helps you better. So as you see here, actually I don't have it quite yet. I'll show on this one. So here we have lines like vertical lines, horizontal lines. I do use horizontal lines, trend lines, and arrows very often. So as you see, they are starred. So if I star something else, if you look right here, I'm going to unstar it and it goes away. So basically I don't have to go in here every time I look for it. I just click up here. I know what everything is and I just use it from there. So that is kind of like a little trick. It does save you time. It's a lot easier instead of trying to remember. I mean, if you're good with remembering it, you could do it that way. You know, have your screen a little less empty, but it really, for me at least, it's just helpful. All right, so here, like I said, all I really use is trend line, you know, just pretty self-explanatory to identify trend. If I, like right here, I am using actually trend line is 1 hour. So right here is trading the triangle right here. So it's a descending triangle. So that means I was anticipating a bullish movement, which did happen. So I did catch some profit on that. What we have next is a whole lot of basically different tools, basically different indications of the market. So I have never used any of these, only Fibonacci retracement. As is here at start, I do use it a decent amount. I mean, if you ever come across a trader that teaches these, or if you yourself know how to use it and you can execute it into your trading plan, I mean, I try to keep my trading very simple. I don't want to kind of, you know, just throw a whole bunch of things out there and just get super confused. So that I just kind of stay away from. Now here we have just kind of like a mix and a match of tools. You got a brush here, a rectangle, and then you got some arcs. And so the brush I do use sometimes. I'll write something. I mean, I honestly don't use it quite often, so I'm just gonna get rid of that so it's a little less jumbled. So the rectangle and the ellipse I do use quite often, like if I'm indicating, let's say, a fake out right here, I would do that. Also, a good thing that you can use is that you can actually modify this ellipse or basically any other tool you want to your liking. So basically, let's say I am analyzing on a higher time frame. I'm going to day trade. I'm going to swing trade. I don't want these ellipses or these tools showing up in the minute time frame or seconds or hours, because it's just we're gonna become crazy and be all jumbled together, and it's just not what we want to do. It gets even worse if you're scalping and you have a whole bunch of tools that, let's say, long positions, short positions, which I'll go over in just 1 second. Let's say you have all of these drawings open and then you go on a daily time frame and it's just all just looking crazy and it's just all over the place, and it's just not very appealing to the eye. So that is a very, very good thing to look into. So you go right here, visibility. So here you obviously click off which one you need. So let's say right now, if you actually pay attention, I'll take off hours. So because I'm on the 1 hour, it does not show up, but I want the hours. So then you come here, you can save as. So you save as whatever you like, whatever helps you become more organized, you save it as that. You can, as I said, change your style, all this and that. So that right there is perfect. Let me get rid of this. So the same thing pertains to the rectangle. You can modify it the same way. So that is a very, very good sign. All right, so we'll go here. Okay, so what we have next is basically a whole bunch of like places to put words or kind of like arrows here. You got price note, price label. I usually just use text. Like let's say I just say, so I'm waiting for correction. Basically, I'm waiting for market to correct, come back down, and then head back up. Like, let's see right here, I did a pretty, all right, we're going 2 hour. So we're going 2 hour. See right here that I did use text box a decent amount, because let's say you're trading 20 forex pairs, you have 10 stocks you're looking at, you got cryptos you're looking at. You don't want to come back to an empty chart and kind of not have any clue what you had done before. Like just what you're getting into. Is good to have basically like little notes, kind of just remind you what you did before, what you expect to happen, what you want to happen, and if that happens, how you're going to proceed. So that right there is pretty good. So that is the only thing I use on here, honestly. I mean, if you want to use a balloon or just whatever helps you, then that's good for you. Just use that. And this right here, we have just a lot of patterns. You got head and shoulders. I mean, you can see yourself clearly that we have a shoulder here, a head, and then another tiny little shoulder. That right there indicates we have down movement. So that right there. So you don't really need to use all this. I try to stay away from all this, like the Elliott waves. I never really got into it, never used it. Just very simple trading, I found is most effective, and there's no need for all of those things. So as I was saying before, we have a long position. So long really just means a buy. So right here we have, move this. We have long, and then I'm gonna put in a short right here. So as you see, green is above, that means obviously that you're going to go for a buy, and green is profit. Here it means that green is below, means you are anticipating a downtrend, or you're just anticipating a drop, which means you are in a sell. So this really, at least the buy, you can pertain, it can actually pertain in stocks and cryptos. The sell, it can pertain in cryptos if you have, let's say, a broker that allows you to sell crypto. So some brokers do allow that. So it's actually very, very good thing. So not only are you waiting for the crypto market to come down, and then you get in for a buy, you can actually anticipate the drop, and you can actually get in for a sell and make money that way. So you're making money both ways. So there's a few things to look at here. So as you see here, we have a risk to reward. So that really only pertains to forex trading. With stocks, it's different. So it's just the opening price when you get in and when you get out divided by your opening. So that percentage is very different compared to this. I will either talk about it in a different video, or I'll make a separate video on it. Just whatever works out better. So here we see we have risk to reward 1.73, and you see that as you make your stop loss smaller, that obviously makes the risk to reward greater because they are a ratio. And the same thing pertains to if you make this bigger. So that goes both ways. So the numbers we see here, up here, let's stay away from, so these are, okay, so these are excessive pairs. So it's a GBU AUD. So Great Britain and the Australian. All right, so let's say right here, I'm just gonna do it up here. Just kind of want to blank. All right, what do we got? Oh, okay. I was like, where's my taskbar? So we got here short, and then we got, long, and then we have a short here. Okay. So as I was saying, up here we have 293 pips of take profit. And let me just try to make this a perfect number. Okay. All right. Just bear with me 1 second. So as you see right here, we have basically almost 100 pip stop loss. See this number right here, and the risk to reward is 3. So 100 times 3 is roughly what we have up here, 295. It's just that it's off a little bit. So you see that the risk to reward is 3, and that this ratio is 3. So the same pertains here. We don't really need this. So this right here is actually, these numbers are good because when you go and you want to calculate the lot size of basically how much you want to trade, depending on how much you're risking, whether it's 0.5%, 1%, 3%, whatever you're comfortable with, you will need your stop loss in pips to know how much you should be trading for, on depending on your account size, obviously, and how much you're risking. So that plays a great factor, and you could essentially use this tool right here, but I'm going to show you that it's exactly the same thing. Okay, we basically have, if you look at these numbers, they basically are the same exact thing. We got 101 pips here, we got 98. It's just a little bit off. That is actually why I like to not use this data range. Just wanted to show you guys in case you want to just use it for a rough estimate. So when you are putting the numbers into your what's it called, the risk calculator, you actually want to use this, so you have an accurate exact number. So you can use this right here to know how much you should be trading for. So that actually is perfect, and it's pretty self-explanatory. If you're risking let's say $100 on a trade, depending how big your account size is, if your take profit is hit, you are going to be rewarded $300. So it's just a correlation. It's a ratio between what you're risking and what you'll be gaining. So a lot of traders, they strive for, well, it depends what kind of trader you are. Some people like a 1-to-1 ratio because the probability is higher. It's very easier. It's a lot easier to try to catch, 15, 20 pips when you're risking 15, 20 pips. So, your probability is like 80% a win rate, but that's just a different topic. And I would say most traders like a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So this right here is very good, but that also does not mean that, let's say right here, let's say we hypothetically would get into a sell here, right? And we would, all right, let's say like this. Okay, so typically you would want your stop loss above the previous high because it's a downtrend, and you don't want price to come here, come up around this area, and then come back down. But because your stop loss is here, because you're trying to get that right here, that 1 to 3 risk to reward, you're actually going to be stopped out. But then as you see, it came back in the way that you're anticipating it. So you don't want to just make your stop loss smaller, make it 15 pips, because you want to risk more and just trade higher with a higher lot size. You don't want to do that. Instead, what you should be focusing on is having your buy closer to your stop loss. But also what that means is don't put your buy or your entry 3 pips away from your stop loss unless you are very experienced. That'd be more of scalp trading than it would be swing trading or even day trading. So don't just put your entry price 5 pips away from your stop loss, because more times than not, it is not going to even hit it, and you are just going to be watching your analysis work out, but you are not in the trade, so it is pointless to you. It does not matter. So that is one thing to keep in mind with these risk to reward ratios. I will go into more depth of what's it called, where you should be placing your where you should be placing your take profits, placing your stop losses, kind of create a strategy, or kind of create call it like a checklist. Like if the risk to reward doesn't come out greater than, let's say, 2.5 in this case, that you don't want to take the trade, because you're just, you're going to be too exposed. You're putting too much out on the table. So that is just something that you're going to have to do between yourself, kind of come up with your own plan, your own strategy, what works for you and what you are most comfortable with. I actually put it away. Okay. So as I had stated before, basically on every tool, it is the same. Actually with this, so it is very hard to get the exact price. Let's say I wanted to do 1.85, right? Actually, you won't be able to do that because you're 1.881. You actually won't be able to do that because your stop loss is not. Okay, now we can do that. 1.85. Okay, you can put exact numbers. You can put exact numbers for take profit, exact number for stop loss, so that your values right here. 1.84. Let me just do stop loss. 1.84. Perfect. So you can actually have very accurate. As you see, this is, yeah, see, because that moved. I was about to say that should be 100 pips. Okay, as you see now, it is exactly 100 pips. So you can be very accurate with how big your stop loss is, and then that makes it better when you're actually trying to calculate your lot size and how much you should be trading. So when we go next, you go style. You can make it however you want to look. You can make it different for different time frames, as I had said on basically on every other tool. Same thing goes here. Visibility. You can play with that. Set templates. Okay, so we are good with this. All right, so we went over that, went over price range. Data range is basically price range, but the other way. So let's say you wanted to see how long a stock or a crypto pair was in a downtrend, let's say. So you just go from the beginning to the end, and you see this is 11 days, 16 hours. So I personally don't use that, but if you were and wanted to use that, if you're interested, that is how it works. Let's say it's bar patterns, so it's a whole forecast. Don't use any of that. You got emojis here. Don't use. You can zoom in and out on specific right here. Boom. So it just resets. My good old friend. All right, so that's what we have here. So now let's work our way up here. So if you want to put in a specific pair, you just go up in that top left corner, Euro USD, put that. And so if you look here, we're in Forex, but we have how many Euro USDs? Just plain Euro USD. So we start, well, it's very, so we have maybe like 10. And it does not matter which one you use, but I just highly prefer and recommend that you stay consistent, because let's say you put a different, let's say you put the same pair into different lists. If they are not correlated, if they are not the same, all of your drawings and all your rectangles and all of that will not show up. Like, let me show you for an example. So we go Euro USD Forex, right? We see all of this. So I use forex.com. We go Euro USD, same exact pair, nothing different. Let's go on this one right here. I have not used this one ever. So you see that's a chart. Okay, maybe a while ago I did, I guess. But nonetheless, you get the point. You don't see anything here. Whereas if we went on the other one, SD, we see that there's a whole lot of stuff going on here. So that is my take on that. We go here, there are time frames. If you hit this down arrow, you see all these time frames. Seconds you cannot use. Oh no, I guess you can use. Okay, yeah, so you do have to upgrade to use that. And I am pretty sure on the free trial, you only have what they set up here as it is. You cannot, go, 3 minute, 5 minute. I personally only use the 5, 15, 30, sometimes 45, and then a few of the hours. And then sometimes I like to see where the pair is going from on kind of like a daily, monthly kind of time frame, see what it's doing. So that is that right here. To our right, we have different candlesticks. Okay, so that should not be liked. All right, so we got a whole bunch of, we got bar, wait. Okay, yeah, so it's just so zoomed out, you can't even see it. So these are bars. We have these candles, which I usually stick to. Line is not bad because it actually doesn't take into an account for the wick. It is, its main purpose is to focus on the body. So it's great to see this because you can kind of see break basic, just retest, break, just retest, and you can kind of work from there. So that is very good. This is something I was looking at earlier. So what we have here. So I stick to my candles. All right, here you can add symbols. So basically just add. All right, here we have indicators and strategies, which I do not use indicators. You can see some indicators here on the left. This is from the beginning when, I watched all these videos on YouTube, read all these books. I bought a whole bunch of books, just really wanted to be educated on the market. And, they feed you a whole lot of information. But then when you put it all together, you end up with like 40 indicators and just all these different things that they just play with your mind. And it doesn't end up, it doesn't end well because you do not know why you're using this indicator, but you see it somehow matches with the other indicator and you're, all right, it's time to get in. But really it's not. You're confused and you're not thinking straight, and that's what happens a lot. If you guys do have any questions on like a certain indicator, like I have used EMAs, SMAs, RSIs, basically just like your basic indicators. If you guys have any questions about those, feel free to mention it in the comment below, or like I said before, go in my about page on this channel and my email is there and you guys can reach out to me that way always. All right, so we have that. Next, we have right here alerts, which is kind of useless because we got alerts right here. This right here is a great tool. So basically, this is great for back testing. You came up with a new strategy, you want to test it, but you don't want to wait for, you basically don't want to test it on a live market and have to wait days. Well, at that rate, you'd have to wait months to see if your strategy is even profitable, if it's even, consistent, if it's actually efficient. Instead, you hit this replay bar, you go right here. It basically acts as if the market is currently right here. But I mean, do not cheat yourself. Don't see that it came down and then tell yourself, okay, I'm going to go in for a sell here because that's perfect. And the probability now the probability of my strategy is like 95%. Like, you're only going to hurt yourself, and it's not for anyone else's benefit but yours, because you are trading your strategy. You are going to be using your strategy, and it's only going to hurt you if you kind of lowball, not really lowball, but kind of like cheat the process and not make the best out of it. But this is a really good tool. You go right here, you press play, and it literally plays out for you, literally as if the market was real. I mean, you could put it slower, but it's just, let's fast forward it. All right, so now we go here, cancel it. All right, so that is a very good tool. Here we have, it's basically like a screen share. You can put two of them together. I have another screen linked up to my laptop, so I basically have two monitors right here. So sometimes I'll have one tab on my laptop, one tab on my other monitor, so I can kind of see both. But on my other monitor, it's a little bigger, so it's better to put two charts together, whereas the laptop's a little smaller, so it gets really clustered. But it's really nice to, let's say on this one you have a higher time frame, you have a daily, you're just seeing what's happening. It's creating lows and lower highs. All right, so then you get into here. Oops, shoot. Then you come here and you can go on a 1 hour time frame, see what's happening. Then you can go on 30-minute and see where you want to enter, get your perfect entry. So that is a really cool thing. Definitely look into that. I do use this one single. What we have here is settings. So I really don't use anything except right here, symbols. We have symbols. You can change, which I'll show you in a second. You can change your candlesticks, and I'll explain why I changed them. All right, so reset button, pretty self-explanatory. It resets. All right, and then here we just have a screenshot. You can take a screenshot of your screen. It doesn't really take a screenshot of the screen. It takes a screenshot of actually your chart, which I personally don't like because it does not include the pair. And maybe I'm just, I don't know, very picky or just have OCD or something, but I do not like that it does that. So instead I just screenshot my actual screen and then I crop out. So that is also very helpful. You can publish right here, record videos. You can do a whole bunch of things. And now let's come here. So you can add an alert. Go right here. So basically wherever you pressed on before, see where this cursor is, where you press add alert, that is where your alert will be. The good thing is you can always drag your alert to exactly where you want it to be. So you don't always have to find the exact spot and right click. No, you just do it in the rough, estimated area and just drag it to where you want it. Or you can literally manually put in an exact spot exact data of where you want it to be. Good thing here is you can play sound when that alarm is hit. You can show pop-up on your phone. You can send email, but I mean, I don't know who checks their emails that often or what kind of, like, whatever you guys do that works for you, that's great. Right here, you can actually put a name on the alert, because if you're trading multiple stocks, multiple cryptos, and there's a lot of forex pairs, it gets very confusing if you just get 5 notifications that say, oh, your alert was you have an alert from TradingView because one of the pairs hit a price. It gets very confusing. And even here you can put, oh, Euro USD hit 1.75, get ready to buy, or just literally whatever you like here. So that's really, really good. Let me just delete this thing. Come on. No. Okay. Yes. So what we have next right here, we have color theme. So as I said before about the candles, but first let's get into just the basic light and dark. As you can see, this is obviously a light theme. It's very light out, but sometimes, let's say it is dark in the room, or it's it's nighttime and I don't want a bright screen just looking in my face. Well, like right now, but it's I actually have the lights on, so it doesn't really bother me that much. But you can hit the dark mode and you now have something that looks like this. Let's switch it back over to light. And I don't know if you noticed, but these candles, they changed. This is what they look like before. They were on regular. What the heck? No. Okay, well, that's weird. Okay, I don't know why it did that. All right, so here we have, you change it to gold. So here we have gold candle. So basically just whatever you like, whatever you think looks better on your charts, whatever helps you focus more. I personally have these gold and black because sometimes I find it very useful to not worry so much on the, is it a green candle, is it a red candle, are we going up or down? Because then you see that one green candle and you just get overexcited. You're like, okay, yeah, it's time to buy. But like that's not the smart choice. It's really not time to buy. You just see something and it's just an emotional just decision, and that's not smart. Whereas here, you aren't seeing any green, any red, and you're kind of just looking at price action. And is it time to get in? Is it time to get out? And you focus more on that instead of just actually the green and the red. So I'm gonna actually set that back. I'll do the same thing again. Okay, no, it didn't. Why is it doing that? All right, we're not gonna worry so much about that. Once I did it, okay. Thought I did it to everything. All right, so next up we have settings, where I'm pretty sure I already went over this, where we actually change wherever, whichever colors you want, like what background, what wick. And then you come here, and that's where I have these, black candles, gold, regular. You just save as, and you put whatever name you are going to use, whatever helps you, distinguish which are which. All right, so we have that. All right. All right, so now we go here. We have our lists. So if you have not purchased the paid TradingView and you're using the free one, I believe you cannot make a list. It's just basically just the generic watch list that they have. I mean, it's also it's okay, but it is good to have lists like I created earlier. I have just current pairs that I'm looking at, just key pairs that I focus on a lot. Robinhood, just the strength of all the pairs, which also is a good thing to look at. I have Webull, Robinhood, just everything it's organized, and you can even look here, like you have red list. You can basically look at what list, basically whichever you color code here. Should have went whatever you want to color code here, whichever. Basically, you can organize. Like I can do red for scalp. I could do blue for day trade. That for swing. Just whatever it helps you organize, and you can see everything clear. That's good for you. You could do right here change, basically highest change from the negative, and then highest change from positive. But this is not percent. This really doesn't matter. I'm going over with you guys. This same thing here. This is the percent though. Highest negative, highest positive. So we have that. If you want to add a pair, you just go Euro USD, or let's say, so we have gold. All right. So right here, like I said, I use forex.com. So that's the one that would be used. Pretty sure I already have it. So that is okay. All right, so now we have here. So you can actually do it so that these don't show up on the side right here. So there should be the last. You can rename your list. You can export a list, import it. All right, so that's good. All right, so this is what we have here for a list. This is alarms. You can kind of monetize and just look at what alarms are still active. Sometimes something just never gets hit from a while ago and it's still using one of your fifth. I believe if you have the paid version, you have 30 alarms. So you don't want some that are basically just aimlessly floating around somewhere from months ago, and they're just taking up your free alarm space. But whatever is triggered does not count as actually being used as an alarm, so that's actually a good thing. All right, here we got news, we got data window. I just really don't use any of this. It's kind of pointless to me, but I mean, if you guys, like I said, if you guys have any questions of anything specific with TradingView, make sure to comment below, and I will go over it in full detail and depth, and make sure you guys know what's going on with that. All right, so this is just about everything on TradingView. I can't making sure I got everything. Yeah. This right here is just a little sneak peek of a trade that I got into. If you see right here, this green arrow is when I got into it. And this is a stock, so I don't use my right here risk reward ratio because the percents don't work like that. This actually, I got in about 49 cents per share, and within I believe 4 hours, it hit the 75-cent mark, even higher, 76. So it's actually up about 55% within 4 hours. And then by the end of the day, I'd say by the next day, it actually hit over 100%. Just about almost 100%. It hit 95 cents. So almost hit 100%. We're looking at like 90% in just a day. So, I mean, if you guys want to see how, and you guys want to know how these kind of trades are, being done, and how I kind of come across these trades and how I perform these trades, make sure you guys stay tuned and watch future videos. I mean, I will make a video on how to calculate percent growth before actually putting in a trade. So you kind of want to know what you're going to come out with. Like, is it even worth, me putting in this much? Is it like, do I really want to gain $5, like $6? If you want to kind of know what you're going to come out with, then stay tuned, because I will make another video about that. It is a little different than Forex, because Forex you're using lot sizes, so it's a little different, because with stocks or crypto, you're just putting a specific amount. Stocks, you have to buy a certain amount of shares. So it is a little different, but that is always something I could get into in full detail in another video. And as I said before, if you guys have any specific questions, make sure you comment it in the comment section, or just shoot me an email. Let me know what you guys want to know, and that sounds great. So this is everything that you should know about TradingView. You should not be confused with anything you see on here. I mean, pretty sure I just went over a majority of the stuff that is pretty important, and you're definitely gonna want to use. It will definitely increase your analyzing game to the next level. And I mean, that's the goal, take your trading to the next level.